So we have to stand in solidarity with each other. We must condemn in the strongest possible terms what has happened in Quebec City. We must express our solidarity with the families there and the community everywhere in Canada, that no one is alone. We stand together. That's why my leader, John Horgan, came out with a very strong statement in the morning after this tragedy happened, condemning this incident. And in British Columbia, like when we are talking about equal rights, we're talking about human rights. Unfortunately, we are the only province, we don't even have Human Rights Commission in British Columbia. So that's why today we announced, in order to combat racism, bigotry, discrimination, we will re-establish Human Rights Commission in British Columbia so that we can educate people, make them aware about their rights, because no one should feel that they are on their own and others should feel strong that they can trample on somebody else's rights. No, it's not acceptable. And today, again, on behalf of my family, I want to say thank you to all of you standing together, coming out, expressing your love, your solidarity with the Muslim community, our brothers and sisters, because that's the only way we will stop this racism if it ever happens again. Thank you.
After hearing that, the City of Burnaby Council on January 30th, in our official meeting, condemned that very, very sad tragedy, and our Mayor Corrigan took upon, a motion was made to write a letter to the Mayor of Quebec City where this crime occurred. We did this because we feel the pain, we feel what has occurred in our community. In a time like this, Canada stands together. We're not afraid, we're united. We're here to pay tribute to those who killed. I'm here tonight on behalf of our council and our mayor and 233,000 Burnabyites who stand with you. You're not alone, because we know our crime against one is crime against us all.
So these are disturbing times. But in the midst of it, I have to see as well that this can well be hopeful times. And tonight we have the community united. 5% of the legislators here, half of the City Council. I bring profound support as well for Kennedy Stewart, a member of Parliament for Burnaby South. He is on his way in the air right now, flying. He'll be arriving about 10 p.m. tonight. So we see all faiths united and speaking up together here in Burnaby. And that is a hopeful sign. Just to stand in silent solidarity with their Muslim brothers and sisters. And that was not just in Ottawa. We saw this throughout the length and breadth of Canada. So these can be hopeful times, that we stand up against hatred together, that we stand with our Muslim brothers and sisters together, that we react the way Canadians and Americans should react, which is in solidarity. We are standing together. And I see, in the depths of this tragedy, in the depths of this hatred that we see coming from the President of the United States, no less, the most powerful position on the planet. In the depths of all of that, I see a solidarity that is unprecedented. We see it in social media, we see it in the marches and the demonstrations, we see it tonight, and we're seeing it right across North America. So I am hopeful.
When certain politicians say that we should be screening immigrants for Canadian values, Those values, we cannot take them for granted. There are Canadian values historically that we should not be proud of. We are all custodians of the flame. None of us are immortal. We will be leaving this country to our children and our grandchildren. We have inherited these rights. People have fought for them. And as other speakers have mentioned, incredible as it may seem, they can be easily lost. They can be lost by the stroke of a pen. Each one of us is a light in the darkness. Each one of us is called to do one thing above all. It doesn't matter which faith community you belong to. We are called to love. And that is a hard task. Loving can get you killed. But we are called to shine in the darkness. We are called to take the torch that we have received and pass it on to the next generation. I was very deeply touched by the Imam in Montreal who called for prayer for the individual who perpetrated that act. If we leave here tonight with hatred in our hearts, we are no better than that person. We are all imprisoned by hatred of one kind or another very easily. But the key to that cage that imprisons us, we hold in our hand. And that key is love. Not warm, fuzzy feelings, but the decision and the courage to act in a loving way. That's all I would say. Thank you.
On a personal note, I would like to express my condolences and my sorrow, my grief to the Muslim community for what has taken place. It's like many of you, all of you, when I first heard what had taken place, it was the Sunday evening, I was shocked and I was horrified and just lacked words to express how I was feeling at the time that somebody would walk into a place that is a sanctuary, that's supposed to be a safe place, a place of peace, and cause tremendous violence and loss of life the way that they did. So as we come together here as an expression of the diversity of our community, to stand together to show our support for each other.
I also bring support from John Horgan, the leader of the NDP. So I am so happy that we are all here expressing our solidarity and support. But I, as a privileged white woman who have experienced nothing but love and security and place in my life, honestly, I don't think I can truly understand what it is that the Muslim community and other persecuted communities are going through at this time in our history when there are those that are deliberately creating barriers and hate and divisiveness and fear. And so I agree, I think the words have been have been about listening to each other. The words have been so inspiring, but the task is a great one because we are not experiencing the persecution that you're experiencing. And I hope we can understand it, but I'm not sure that we really can because we've always lived with security. So it is beholden upon all of us to work so hard on that. So I particularly want to thank and recognize the citizens who don't have any particular official reason to be here, but have simply come out to say, we're with you. And thank you so much for hosting this, and we will get through this, all of us together, but it's going to take a lot of work. Thank you.
January 29th, as the President said, we were in Surrey celebrating the 50th anniversary of BC Muslim Association. When I walked into the hall, I saw my friend, Consul General of Turkey, Mr. Bora, and I was talking to him, and he saw something on his BlackBerry, and I could see on his face the shock. And he shared with me, and he said, do you know that this has happened in Quebec City? I said, no, it took several years to sink in, because now we are here all celebrating such a occasion that, the contribution of the Muslim community in Canada. Suddenly this happened. It's like everybody else in the room. I think it didn't, like the President was asked for the media to come out and speak, and he didn't know. And even though I was told by the Consul General, I was still thinking that it must be something wrong.
The Women of British Columbia Muslim Association is always there with all the mosques and all the branches, and we at this juncture we felt a little fear that we were being targeted, Muslims as a whole, and we looked up to our brothers and sisters of different faith who are here today to support us, to stay with us in solidarity against any injustice or racism or bigotry. So I would like to thank you to all my sisters out here who took their time to come and listen to us. Thank you very much. And I would like to